had this negativity, had this kind of belief that no one could become rich, that you can't escape what you're currently doing. Like, you gotta go down the traditional route. That's why, like, at the start, when I was starting everything, everyone's like, just go get a 9 to 5. Like, this isn't gonna work. I kind of disappeared from my friend group and I kind of went ghost. And I was like, I'm gonna put myself in my bedroom and I'm gonna make this work one way or another. I've never ever looked at myself and I'm like, I don't know if this will work. I've always looked at myself and I'm like, we'll make this happen one way or another, because I know other people have done it. If anyone else can do it, then so can you.
The more I just hear you talk, it just feels like mindset's the single biggest thing.
What if I told you that the real secret to success isn't luck or timing or how much money you've raised? It's actually an uncompromisable belief in your mindset and your self-worth. Today's guest went from selling iPhone cases on eBay at age 12 to ghosting his social life, locking himself in his room for 12 months, working 15-hour days, until his vision became reality with multiple million-dollar businesses. Hey, I'm Arjun, CEO of Doula.com, a fintech startup based in New York City. To learn more about what we do, you can check us out at Doula.com. I started a series called the 15-Minute Founder, where I sit down with the top entrepreneurs and creators to unpack the secrets to their success. In this episode, I sat down with Ramin Popal, a self-made entrepreneur who went to building multiple million-dollar businesses. And this is an episode which will rewire the way you think about money, mindset, and actually the concepts of, does money actually buy you happiness, or can your mindset actually print money for you? Without further ado, let's dive in.
Can you take us back to that frame of mind or the time when you started the business and it wasn't making money and someone or some people were saying, go get a 9 to 5 job? What was happening then? What was the first business?
From an early age, I was always looking at other things to do and how I could make more money, because I knew the traditional route wasn't going to get me to become a millionaire. So there was these online businesses at the time, drop shipping, starting an agency, but back then it wasn't cool. Like, no one knew about becoming an entrepreneur back then. This was like, we're talking like 6-7 years ago. Now it's obviously cool to get started. Everyone supports it. But back then, everyone was like, what are you doing? Like, what is this drop shipping or this agency that you're starting or all these external stuff? So a lot of people in my neighborhood had this negativity, had this kind of belief that no one could become rich, that you can't escape what you're currently doing. Like, you got to go down the traditional route. So that was actually pretty difficult. Like, that's why, like, at the start when I was starting everything, everyone's like, just go get a 9 to 5. Like, this isn't going to work. But I said, no, I'll never get a 9 to 5. I'm going to make this work one way or another. And that's where that stems from. Because a lot of people were like preying on my downfall, essentially. So yeah, that's where that saying, that starts saying, it's like, just go get a 9 to 5. It's not going to work. Yeah, a lot of people would say that, like, hey, like, your business will never work. This is a wrong decision that you're making. Like, just stick to college, go get a 9 to 5, and just kind of shut it down. And I think it just comes from people's like belief system in themselves. I don't know. A lot of people don't believe that they could ever escape where they're currently at. I just believe, like, I'm just looking at everyone, and then I'd also just really look at the rich people, and I'm like, these people are just humans at the end of the day. Like, they're no one special in terms of, like, they weren't born with superpowers. Like, we all bleed at the end of the day, right? Maybe they did something different. So it's like, what did they do different? How can I learn from that? So I was very open-minded. So a lot of people are very closed-minded. They're ignorant to a lot of things. But for me, I'm just open-minded, question everything.
Before I ask you about when the business started making money, you mentioned drop shipping and you mentioned starting or wanting to start a business there. Can you explain how that came about and why you ultimately picked e-commerce or drop shipping at that young age too?
Yeah, so I used to see my dad buying and selling products in real life. He used to go garage selling, and then he used to go to the market and sell the products. So I kind of understood, like, buy low, sell high. And then at 12, I started selling on eBay. So I'd get iPhone cases from China and I'd sell it at a markup on eBay. At the time, I didn't take it seriously because I didn't think you could make a lot of money from it. Because at that point, I also thought to be a CEO, you needed to be like 30, have hundreds of thousands in capital. And I'm like, I don't have any of that. So did that at 12, and then at 16, I started an Instagram theme page and I started Shopify dropshipping.
You started making money and people said, oh, you're getting lucky. What was that point? What was the first business line or product that started making money? And then who are these people saying you were getting lucky?
So I kind of disappeared from my friend group and I kind of went ghost. And I was like, I'm going to put myself in my bedroom and I'm going to make this work one way or another. So I said no to restaurants. I said no to going out with friends. And I started to make some money. I started to hit $1,000 a day with my dropshipping store. and I was at like maybe $6,000-7,000 a month with my agency. And bear in mind, at this point, I was 18. I was still in university, so I was about 6-7 months in. And a lot of the people in university were like, "Oh, you're just getting lucky with it. Like a couple of sales coming through." And I'm like, "Yeah, $1,000 a day is just a couple of sales coming through." And then what started to happen is when I started to hit $1,000 a day, I started to obviously go out there a little bit more, showcase my life a little bit. And then everyone was like, "Hey," like friends, people from university, like, "Hey, you're just getting lucky at this point." I'm like, "Yeah, fair enough. Like, if that's what you want to believe, yeah, that's, I guess, like putting myself away for like 8 to 12 months and going hard at it." Bear in mind, I was doing like 15, 16 hour days. Like all I was thinking was that all day long. Like the obsession was just crazy.
I was going to ask you what that actually looked like. You kind of answered it there. But when you say like ghost, you wouldn't see friends on weekends. You just locked yourself into this hole. You're like, I'm fully all in for this 12-month period.
Yeah. So a lot of my friends and even my older brother was like, "Ramin, like, why didn't you go traveling? Like, why aren't you going out with friends?" And I told everyone, I'm like, "You'll know when I come out and party, and you'll know when I go and travel." And it's like, funny enough, now when I go traveling, I do the best stuff. Now when I go out to parties, I'm pulling in pretty heavy. Like, you know, I'm coming in hot. You know what I mean? So it's like, I told them that when I was 18, I'm like, I'm going to disappear for a bit, but when I come back, you guys will know. I went out maybe 2 or 3 times before I went ghost, and I'd see all these people celebrating, but for no reason. I was like, "Why are you guys celebrating? You don't like your lives. Like, you're complaining about your boss, like all this stuff. You're just complaining, but you're coming out on a Saturday night and you're partying for what?" Like, I never understood that either. I'm like, when you go out there and party, you should be partying for a reason, that your life is going well, that you're progressing, that you're doing stuff. Like now when me and my crew, we go out and party, it's like, we know we can party and we know we can have the most fun. Like, we're not going to the same bars and clubs every week. Like, we're going to new places, new experiences, and we're celebrating for a reason.
It sounds like for you, money has opened a ton of doors, and ultimately money is a universal symbol, or it's a universal sign of just value exchange.
It is.
Like
and
the most universal equator across, am I contributing value to society or value to business?
Yeah. And I believe a lot of people, the reason they say don't focus on money is I think it makes them feel good about the fact that they don't have a lot of money. So rather than confronting themselves and saying, "Hey, I don't make enough money and I need to go out there and make a lot more," and it's going to be uncomfortable, people would rather stay in their comfort zone and be like, "Well, money doesn't buy happiness." Who told you that? You don't know that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like it's a cover up, which on a larger scale, it's now like become a problem because people are like, "Oh, all you focus on money." But I'm like, that's what everything gets driven by. All transactions happen by money. If you can use money in the right way, it does bring happiness. If your car breaks down, what do you need to fix that? Money. Majority of people's problems in life can all be solved by just making an extra few thousand a month. Like literally, like people's problems can get solved by that. So those are my 2 biggest takes that a lot of people are like disagree on a little bit.
My question here is, let's say someone isn't buying into the, "Hey, dropshipping's dead, I get it, I have to put in the work." They're ready to take action. They either are ready to start from scratch, like they're primed, they're ready to go, their body and their mindset's in the right place, or they have something. Maybe they're making 1K per month, and if you can get to 1K per month, you can get to 10. If you can get to 10, you can get to 100, unless you place this self-imposed barrier in your mind.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they can't take action. So, you have like some great things here around, hey, later you'll be regretting it on your deathbed. What would you say to someone to get them to take action where they're bought in, but for whatever reason, they're scared to take that next step? What would you tell them, or what piece of advice would you have for them?
Yeah, so I'd tell everyone to get like a piece of paper out and write down like what do they want in life? Like how much money do they want to make? What house do they want to buy? What car do they want to buy? What's that amount? Like at what amount could they live their dream life where they're like, "I'm happy"? Now, look at some of the painful stuff that's happening in your life right now. Maybe your parents are working super hard. Maybe like there's certain things that you cannot get in life. My motivation drove from the fact that people were telling me that I couldn't achieve it, but also drove from the fact that I was also seeing people in an office job working 9 to 5, and I did not want to live that life. I had a fear of like, I didn't want to live like working the rat race. And then I also had this other side where I was like, people telling me I couldn't do it. So I used that to fuel my fire. So people need to find that fire within them. So figure out whatever it is. It could be anything. So write it all out. Then when you get started and times get tough, look at that paper and be like, this person said I couldn't do it. My mom still works a job. My car it's a shit car. I need to upgrade it. Like, look at all this stuff, and that should drive you to keep pushing forward. I wrote a funny thing on my story like a while ago, and I was like, if you need motivation, just look at your bank account. A lot of people aren't happy with the amount that's in their bank account. That should be the driving force for you to show up and get better and do better and improve your life. Like, look at your surroundings. Like, just look at everything, take it all in, find the one or two things that's going to drive you, and then just go full force with it.
What's the biggest screw up or mistake you've made ever? Was there ever a time when you were like, crap, I don't know if this thing's going to work?
Like, I've probably lost out on like $2 to $3 million of my own money in mistakes, like paying team members, certain business mistakes and stuff like that. But if all of those didn't happen, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I appreciate all those mistakes and everything that actually happened. I understand that's part of the journey. That's part of life that happens. But yeah, I understand that everything that has happened, all those mistakes, like, you know, I'd love for them to happen because that's shaped me who I am. But I've never ever looked at myself and I'm like, I don't know if this will work. I've always looked at myself and I'm like, we'll make this happen one way or another because I know other people have done it. Like for us, with the software companies, other people have built software companies and scaled them to hundreds of millions of dollars. So that means I can do it too. Other people have started a dropshipping store and made it successful, so I can do it too. When I was 16 and I wanted to buy a Lamborghini and everyone was like, you're crazy for wanting to do that, I said, why? There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people that own this car. I can also do it. So that's another quote that I used to have on my phone screen was, if anyone else can do it, then so can you. And that's where that confidence and belief like is instilled inside of me.
I also love what you said about the mirror with the sticky notes for things you've done already. Where did that come from? Like, where did you learn that idea?
So when I say things that I've done, I have acted like I've already achieved it.
So it doesn't matter if it's in the future. It's done. It's done and it's up there.
It's done because if I say that...
Can you tell me an example of one of the Post-it notes now?
Yeah, so I'm worth $100 million. So I'll read that as if I'm already worth $100 million because now I have to carry myself as someone that is making $100 million. So how would that person think? How would that person act? How would that person carry themselves throughout the day? What business moves would he make? What life decisions would he make? That will all come down to that. So when I was 17 years old, I think I was 17 years old 17. And I was like, I make $1 million a year. I make $1 million a year. I make $1 million a year. So what do I have to say no to? What do I have to say yes to? From a perspective of a millionaire, how would he wake up? What decisions would he make? How would he go about his day? Like everything comes down because I have to act like that person in order to become that person. So on my sticky notes, I'm worth $100 million, all these investments, all this stuff. So I have to read them as if I've already got them so I can act like that person. And then when it comes, that's how I see manifestation of the law of attraction working.
The more I just hear you talk, it just feels like mindset's the single biggest thing.
Hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. I certainly enjoyed chatting with them, and you can find the full video on my channel. As you can tell, these typically go over 15 minutes. Now, we have more interviews just like this coming live soon, but I also want to share a behind-the-scenes look at my life starting and scaling Doula, a venture-backed fintech startup here in New York City. That includes how I run my life, the challenges the team faces, how we've raised venture capital, and more. So please like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Hope to see you soon, and if you're looking to start and scale your business from anywhere in the world, check out doula.com. Thanks so much. See you next time.